Okay, this is a video about user interface design and how it's failing. The example I'm going to use is one from YouTube. So I opened up a playlist, and I didn't mean to open up a playlist. I only wanted to play one video from it. So I pressed the go back button for Google Chrome, and that should move me from being on the page where the playlist is to the page I was on before. But no, YouTube decides they know better, and instead of going back a page, they just open up a small miniature player of what I didn't want to view. Why? Why? This is the problem with user interface design. The people designing them have now decided they know better than the individual using the tool, which is what they've created. A website, a web page is a tool. And if you use a button or a input means to tell it to leave a page, it should leave the page. But no, YouTube decides it knows better than you do, or they know better than you do what you want, and then they just stuff the video you didn't want to see in your face in a stupid miniature player. Because, oh, look at this function. This is the problem. This is a perfect example of the problem. It's not their business to make decisions on my behalf, ever. No matter how many no matter how many times it is statistically proven that a person might not want that to be done, it's their responsibility. And stealing that responsibility from the individual is the problem. These guys they're out of control. The basic premise here is they know better. Right? So let's say you go into a restaurant, right, and then you order a steak. No, I don't know. You order something, and then you order something you order it in a way that isn't conventional. Okay, let's say that you order fish, right? Normally you have white wine with fish, okay? And let's say you order red wine, and then at some point the person who took the order says, "Oh, they should have white," and on your behalf they make that decision and they deliver white wine to your table. You say, that's not what I ordered. Oh, but I thought. Yeah, but it's not your business to think. This is the problem. This is the problem. You can check, alright, if you want, right? In this instance with YouTube, they could perhaps, if they really wanted to, ask you one time if that's what you wanted. But they shouldn't even do that. It's up to the user to have that responsibility. And what the problem now is, they're trying to steal the responsibility from the user, which disempowers the user. And the user ends up thinking, whoa, hang on, that's not what I wanted, that's not what I asked for. But because YouTube has decided, probably because of statistical evidence, that you probably wanted that, your control is gone. And that's the problem. And this is very dangerous indeed. Because what happens if you make a more serious decision in your life, and because statistically the rest of the mooing herd of humanity decide to do one thing, oh, you're expected to do this particular thing this way, so you don't get what you want. This has to stop, because it's removing control from the individual. You can't live like that. You can't. I can't think of anything more terrible than your decision making being statistically judged and then removed from you. That's absolutely awful. And these morons have started to do it on websites, and I tell you what, that's going to creep into governmental decision making as well. We've got to stop this. We have to stop it. It must be stopped. The danger of this is phenomenal. Oh, it's for your own good. Oh my goodness. No, 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 no. No. We have to avoid this. We have to prevent this. This is really, really bad news. Yeah, this is a small instance. Oh, well, don't worry. It's just a website. Yeah, this time. This time. But next time it won't be. Next time it'll be something more significant. Oh, we expected that you wanted this payment to be made. Well, I didn't set up. Yeah, but we expected it. Okay. So you've just denied me access to my money because of a decision you made that I didn't. Or something along those lines. Most people want this particular surgery. So you've been booked in for this particular surgery. Well, hang on. I don't want that. Oh, but most people do. No. That's not how things work. Individual choice is absolutely critical. You have to have it, you have to maintain it, it has to be preserved. If you make a mistake, it's on you. This is the kind of notion that communists would like. Everyone's expected to do something, therefore it's enforced. You have to have the right to make your own mistakes. Otherwise, you're just a prisoner. And I don't want that. Not for me or anyone else. But there are forces and elements in this world who love this stuff. And I have to say that it seems to me that they're pushing it as much as they can to try and condition people to rely upon these things, everything being done for them. Man, that's a dangerous, dangerous thing. Which is why I would always encourage people to do things yourselves. If you find some idiot is trying to do it all for you, reject it and do it the long way if necessary. Don't do it the way that they're trying to encourage you to become dependent upon, because it'll be used against you eventually. 100%. Every time. Every single time you give away a freedom, it's used against you. And these freedoms cost sometimes lives to get and to hold. Don't just give them away. Oh yeah, but this is just a website. Yeah, this is one, that's a small example. But it's going to happen more and more. And I will also add in feminism to this. I think feminism is one of the tools of the people who are trying to enact this stuff. Because, like it or not, I think women tend to like things done for them. They don't have the independent streak that men have. Beautiful example of this is map reading in cars. A man will do everything he can to avoid asking for directions, unless he has to, because he knows that ultimately, because the buck stops with him, it's in his DNA, he has to make sure that, he has done everything he can to learn where he is, to try and solve that problem. Because depending upon other people all the time is a very, very big risk for him. You can say what you want about, the modern world. I don't care. The modern world is a big problem. The way things are is a big problem. Because people are being sucked into this dependence, and it's incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. And people are just wandering into it like idiots, which demonstrates another truth, that the vast majority of people don't think. And it's only a minority who do actually think about things, and those are the leaders. Or rather, thinking and acting. That makes you a leader. I mean, you can just think all you want, but you've got to act as well. And when other people are trying to coerce the masses down the wrong road, you have to say, nope, not doing that. You have to stand your ground. You have to be the one to make the decision, say, I'm not doing it. No, that's wrong. And that takes guts, it takes courage, it takes backbone. Now, it's not just men who have that. That's the truth. I don't want my campaign against feminism to be misinterpreted as as disrespect or contempt for women, because that's not the case. There are a lot of very strong-minded, very intelligent women, and I'm glad about that, because they can work with the decent, strong-minded, intelligent men to fix this problem. We have to decide who we are in society. Are we just one of the herd, or are we a leader? I am a leader. Oh, who's following you? I don't know yet. I've decided I am going to make my decisions. And here's the thing, people do tend to follow decent decision making. In my past, in my history, in my life, I've always been a natural leader. I don't try and force everything, but I do my own thinking, I make my own decisions, and if people are happy with it, they go along with it, because I do the thinking necessary to make decisions that are worthwhile, and then I act. I don't just follow what other people say or do, because that's incredibly dangerous. That's lemming behaviour. And I would encourage other people to do likewise, because at the moment there are other people who are trying to influence everybody to just follow. I'm not alone. There are millions of other people like me, people who actually think about things and say, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, I won't do this. At the moment we don't have the influence we should have, primarily over our own media, because our media is in the hands of the people who are doing this, and that's the truth. And that needs to be resolved, and it will be. So I'm just making the point that people need to reject things being done for them. Take the harder road, if necessary, to preserve your freedom, because that's the price. If you give away your freedom for convenience, it's a big problem. Moreover, people have a responsibility to each other not to go along with things that are just convenient if they're wrong. And we all know things in recent years which were very, very, very wrong. The problem is that the people who have perpetrated these mega crimes have been planning their situation for a long time, and people, average people, have just sat there and been like, oh okay, everything's okay. And they've watched this thing slowly happen and thought, oh crikey, what do we do? Well, it's now time to take responsibility for ourselves. And part of that is to have the mindset of doing things the difficult way if necessary. Reject things being done for you. I'm insulted by businesses at the moment trying to tell me what to do. It's a joke. The bad manners of companies at the moment, because they're out of hand, they're out of control, and the people who are trying to create this, we'll call it New World Order, they've got people in place in businesses to create this whole basically this whole environment whereby even businesses are in on it. Oh, this is a crooked time that we're living in, a very crooked time, and we need to stand up against it, and it can be stood up against. Like any evil, it can be stood up against. It just requires courage. Like they say, the only thing necessary in order for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. Okay, so it's now time to do something. Okay, you do what you can do, whatever it is. If it's just standing up against something and taking a difficult route instead of the easy one that's offered to you that's poisonous, then do that. We just have to all do our bit, and then this stuff is kept out of our lives. But this is important stuff, really important stuff, and you need to take it seriously, because if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day and you won't be able to leave the house. Oh, that already happened a couple of years ago, and no, it wasn't justified at all. It was an exercise in controlling you. That is extremely dangerous, and we need to prevent that ever happening again, under the guise of it being for your own good. Never. That needs to be stopped. Good luck to everyone.